show your girl some love. We gonna have a good time and keep you in the know. Let all your trouble go. In the know, in the know, in the know. In the know, in the know, in the know. In the know, in the know, in the know.
Let me roll my eyes at you. Hey, that's my baby, y'all. Michellita Taylor. What's up, everybody? This is Michellita on the In the Know Radio Show in the Victory Station, live in the studio with you. I'm so glad to be back. Listen, your girl went on a continuing also with the best month in the year. Yes, I'm talking about Black History Month. Black history is something that we will never stop celebrating, and we are so encouraged to know that there's so many of us that are doing great things and making history for generations to come. And so today I have an incredible show lined up for you today, and a couple that I believe hit all the marks for today's topic. And let me tell you, y'all, we're gonna keep it real, okay? So if you have a friend that's in a relationship, if you are single, if you are looking to get into a relationship, if you have a business that you're trying to elevate, this is the show that you want to call your friends and tell them to tune in right now. So with no further ado, I'm going to introduce my friends. I'm so awesome. I'm so amazed at how many people that I know that are doing some great things. So I'm so honored that I get to call friend. So our first guest is Miss Andrea Scott. She grew up in the Bronx, New York, and attended the Fame High School of Music and Art in Harlem, and went on to attend Temple University in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, where she majored in jazz and commercial vocal performance music, and was initiated into the Epsilon Delta chapter of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated on November 14, 1986. Andrea became the youngest Black woman to debut at the national position in Mary Kay history, a record that she still holds today, everybody. She retired on January 13, 2020 after 26 years with the company. Andrea has been a featured speaker of women's conferences, business organizations, and podcasts, and co-authored 2 books. She is married to her soulmate and best friend, Nate Scott, and together they own Life is Rich Global LLC, where she coaches professional women over 40 in ministry or business who are divorced, while Nate coaches executives and entrepreneurs. Mr. Nate Scott served as CFO of mortgage and real estate technology companies. The company was listed twice as an INC 500 fastest growing company. Nate served as a wealth advisor at UBS Financial Services in Jacksonville, Florida. And prior to his career in wealth management, he served in the U.S. Army. He is a successful information marketer, speaker, author, coach, and podcaster. You can learn more at www.lifeisrichwithnatescott.com. So ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together, clap it up, snap it up for the Scotts that are in the building. Now listen, they're going to be sharing a mic today because why not? They're a couple and we're talking about togetherness. So they're going to be kind of going back and forth but answering questions. But how are you guys feeling?
Man, I'm doing so good. It is so good to see you. Oh my gosh, it is so good to see you. I am doing so great. Happy Black History Month. And yes, it will be what it will be.
Yes.
Okay?
Well, you guys look refreshed on this Saturday. I know you stayed busy. Like you guys always have your hands to the plow, you have your feet to the pavement, always making a difference. So I want to say thank you for being here today, because I know there were other places you could have been, but you chose to spend your Saturday with me today. So thank you.
Honored to be here.
So listen, it's Black History Month, and we're the day after Valentine's Day. So I want to talk about some love first. So I want to hear how you guys met. And then we're going to talk about how Life is Rich kind of evolved in you guys' relationship. So I'll let whoever wants to go first.
I think tell the story. He tells the story better than I do.
Okay.
Yeah, and actually the order is Life is Rich before us evolving. That's the start of that. So at 19, when I walked perimeter during Operation Desert Storm, I said, Lord, if you allow me to make it back, I'll never waste a day of my life. That was a very pivotal point for me at that time, to recognize that time is not promised. Right. We all have the same 1,440 minutes per day. When you subtract out the time for working, sleeping, commuting, and the time it takes you to do what you have to do each and every day of your life, most people are left with just 1 to 2 hours remaining to really want to do. And then the question is, do they have the money to do it?
Yeah.
And so with that being the foundation of everything else I've done, it was July 8, 2015. I was leaving LA Fitness. I passed a pink Cadillac. I didn't see the person driving the vehicle, saw it as a status symbol, and for those of you that are in business, I knew my avatar, I knew my ideal client. And so I stopped the pink Cadillac, I flagged her down, gave her a copy of my book, and said, here, read this. If you get any value from it, you can pay for it later. Well, she went left, I went right. She contacted me on July 26th, telling me she had read it. And then she shared it with 30 of her directors. She was in Dallas at a convention leading, and she used it as a tool to teach from. Then she contacted me, telling me she'd read it, she shared it, and then she asked me to do a conference call with 200 of her ladies. I said, bring the husbands on. And then after that, she asked me to do a live event here in Jacksonville, Florida.
Wow.
Following that event, she paid $4,500 to work with me for 90 days as her coach. From there, we developed a friendship over scandals and nachos. And then
The show scandal.
The show, yes. Okay, gotta clean that up right there.
And so less than a year meeting at the stop sign, we married. And
Wow.
so that's how it came about, and it was definitely ordained. I always tell people when we're talking about love and our relationship, the foundation is on respect. And the fact is that I respected her and who I thought she was as a business professional, and she respected me enough to hire me. And so that's the foundation of our relationship.
Wow, I love that.
Isn't that good?
Which shows me, prior to you meeting, there was such clarity that you had for yourself as a professional, as a person that was a visionary for where you were going, because you didn't just approach anyone, nor did you respond back to just anyone. You didn't have to respond back to him with the book.
Exactly.
And the benefits that it had for your life and for others that you saw that would be beneficiaries as well. That's huge, especially when you're, not looking per se for a relationship, or if you are.
Right. And the truth is that neither of us were. I had just come out of a divorce after 17 years of marriage. And I remember being on a plane. I was going to Maui on vacation for the first time by myself. And I remember taking out my iPad and I just started writing. And I was like, you know what, God? I don't know. I know I am a wife. I'm not a girlfriend. I'm a wife. And I know what I have to give. And, whoever he is, whoever comes to find me, it could be 5 years, 10 years. I don't know, God. I'm on your timeline. But I wrote down a list of 25 things that I needed. These are the ingredients.
Yes,
you know what I'm saying? And I said, now God, put you got the exceeding and abundant. But can you just add a little bit of this? Put a little bit of this in there.
Just in case we needed more clarity.
Exactly. And the thing about it is, as we spent time together and became best friends, I started checking stuff off the list. I remember one time I asked him, I said, where did you come from? And he said, I came from your list.
What? Hey, come on, write the vision. Habakkuk? Isn't that Habakkuk? Write the vision, make it plain.
Okay?
Wow.
Yes, Lord.
Wow.
And then one real world from that list, tell her about the story that kind of gave you some aha moment.
Okay, so some of the stuff on the list, he got baby kill bugs.
Come on. Amen.
He got, he's got those numbers because I'm with math, because I'm still counting on my fingers and toes, right? Yes. But then I said, I want him to be fun. I want him to dance with me for no reason. Yeah. And I want him to sing the high part of Purple Rain, to me or whatever. Yeah. Listen, one day, hands to God, we're talking on the phone, because remember, I hired him as a business coach. Yeah. Talking on the phone.
And just to be clear, it was as a business coach. This wasn't, I'm going to hire him, I'm going to spend some time with him, let me see if maybe this can go somewhere, because, ladies, you know what I mean? We can say, no, I just want to see what's going to happen, but your intention.
No, this was an investment in me.
Yeah.
Coaching is an investment in yourself. Yeah. I paid $4,500.
You going to work.
He going to work something, okay? He going to do his job, and I'm going to, but the bottom line is, I remember saying, having that one little stupid thing on there. And even though it might seem minute and stupid, it's those things that bring you joy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I was on the phone talking to him, and he was in the car driving, and all of a sudden he said, hold on. And he turned the radio up, and he was like, hoo, hoo, hoo.
brains
pulling it
out.
out today. We're pulling it out today.
We're bringing the best out of it. But that's what happened. And so I look at the phone, like I got the phone like the little meme, like,
Yes.
God, are you serious? He's singing the high part of Purple Rain. Check off my list. God is strategic and he's specific.
Yes, he is.
And I was like, okay.
Wow.
We gonna see.
Wow. So you guys have been married for how many years now?
How many months?
103 months.
103 months. You know we do monthly.
I love that.
Every month on July, every second of the month. We got married July 2nd, 2016, which was my dad's birthday. My dad passed January 31st, 2016. And so I just said, Nate, I want to get married on my dad's birthday. I want to always remember the two loves. This day to be specific, to be significant. And so every month from there, we started like month 2, 3 months married, 4, and we never stopped. And so it's 103 months. So 9 years. It'll be 9 years this year.
Because it really does kind of create a little bit more, it gives more weight, actually, more credence to the dedication that you guys have. Oh, we married for 5 years. 5 sounds so small, but to say 103 months, we have been in this, made a conscious decision to stay. We are in this for life.
Yeah, and it lines up with business practices. So once again, it's those things that are, you measure those things that are important. That's really the key. Yeah. You measure what's important. So whether or not it's in your fitness journey, fitness is 80% nutrition, 20% working out. If it's in the financial journey, finance are 80% 80% behavior, 20% know-how. And so I find that people will invest their time in things and put down things that don't really line up with the priorities. Right. And so I made an intentional decision to count those things because, again, life is a promise. Right. And so that is just another one of those behaviors that line up with other things that are in our life that's important.
I love that. A lot of intentionality, a lot of symmetry, synergy. Everything is kind of melded together. But how do you, though? Because your marriage is one thing, business is another thing. How is it that you're able to, in a peaceable way, continue to meld the two together? Because I'm sure there's times like, honey, I'm not your business partner right now. I'm your wife. We need to deal with this particular situation, and I want to deal with it as your wife, not as a business partner. How do you find the separation, if any?
Yeah, and I'm glad you said that because I don't think we really separate our life out. Like everything is ministry to us. Everything is God. Like whether we're in business, whether we're in a relationship, if we're walking on the beach holding hands, we're always talking, we're always throwing ideas out. And he knows me. I think that's a big part of relationships is knowing who your partner is and who your spouse is. He knows when he needs to be my husband and just hear me. And then he knows when he needs to be my coach, when I need some coaching, right? Yeah. Sometimes I push back. A lot of times I push back, but I respect him so much that I have the ability to say, okay, Andrea, let me take the wife hat off. Because sometimes it's us taking that off and not asking the other person to put theirs on. Right, you know what I mean? Right. But we don't ever separate really the two. Wherever we go, we're always either doing ministry, and part of that is our business life. So we just integrate it all.
Yeah. And for me, this has been my walk. Again, I made a commitment at 19 when I said, Lord, if you allow me to get back, I know waste of my life. So from a leadership standpoint, this is truly who I am 24/7. Right. And so when I'm leading my wife, I'm not giving her me. I'm really pointing her back to God. And I'm telling her, you can be mad if you want. I'm just being obedient, and I'm going to love you to give you that which has been given to me to give to you. And then I disengage because it's not something that is coming from me. Right. And so again, goes back to the respect thing. We started out from that lens. So what's beautiful about our relationship is that I know she receives from me. Yeah. A lot of times relationships aren't the way they can be because a person is not able to respect the person that they're in a relationship with. That person hasn't earned the respect. They aren't doing the things that in turn that causes them to say, I want to be like that person, or that standard that person is holding. They're not just talking the talk. Right. Because what's interesting is that once you get into the relationship, and then when you get married, you see all the person's potential flaws.
Right.
So you get a chance to see if the person was putting on a show or not.
Uh-huh.
That's something that's really significant. And
Do
then,
you feel like the coaching that you guys were able to complete prior to saying, you know what, I think this is going to be a little bit more than you just being a coach for me in my business. I think this is something where we, in our friendship, can develop into a relationship. Do you feel like having that time, that season, provided you with a little bit more insight about her? Because that's not something that people that are dating or in a relationship can really say they've had.
Right.
Because you kind of came into her life as a leader by way of your business practices, and then formed a friendship, and then it went into a marriage. So you kind of had some insight pre-future, if that makes sense.
it makes sense of what you're saying, but to answer the question, for me, it wasn't a shift because business is personal for me. When I engage with someone in a coaching relationship, I don't have a compartment. And that's one of the things that makes it difficult for me as a business person.
Okay.
Is that people are doing transactions and they're saying, you know,
Gotcha.
when I give you my word.
That's a good word, transaction. Because
Yeah.
that is definitely what's happening a lot in relationships.
Yeah.
You give me, I say, you do this, or that, you know, not a tit for tat, but, you know, the ROI kind of thing.
Yeah, so I'm giving all that I am. I'm expecting that, and there's a standard. There's an expectation, so it's not something about turning it off or turning it on. Our friendship developed because we were doing business and we generally liked each other.
Yeah.
I like doing business with people and then we become friends versus having friends and trying to do business. I want my business relationships to be my friends, and I want my life to be really consumed by people that I'm doing business with, because we're now doing life together, and I can honor the relationship, and it's not getting fuzzy.
That's
You know
so
what I'm saying?
good. That's so good. I read a book, man, and it had he talked about different ships: partnership, sponsorship, scholarship, relationship. And he hit right on that. And I got so much value from that, because it is kind of out of sequence, which is why business relationships oftentimes don't work and the longevity doesn't stand, because you didn't invest and you didn't look beyond what the person can do for you as opposed to what you can do for them, and then what you can do together for the purpose, knowing what that goal is for the relationship. So I love that.
Yeah.
I love
I
that.
thought that was powerful.
That was so good.
That was so good.
I'm so glad we record these, because we can go back. Hey, Bishop! Oh my goodness, Bishop is watching. Hi, Bishop is watching. So good. So let's talk about Life is Rich, and kind of what was the foundation of that, and now that, and I guess the sequence, because you said that it all kind of happened a little bit differently than what I had described it. So let's talk about that.
So I want to just say a couple things. Nate was somebody that I absolutely admired. Like, his character is impeccable. I don't know if it's that West Point pedigree. I don't know if it's the Army thing. I don't know if it's that Ranger stuff. He says God. Okay, God.
It's God. I love it.
But, you know, and God is so, God is just permeates from him. So he was easy to trust. He was easy, and he was authentic. It's hard to find.
I was just about to say, that is so rare.
Like, you ask him, you know, don't ask him if you don't want to know.
Now that's another thing too. Yeah, you gotta be ready.
How does this look? It don't look good.
No fluff.
No fluff. Listen, this guy is no fluff.
Straight no chaser.
Straight no chaser, for sure. But he's consistent.
Yeah.
And he is someone, he's never lied to me. Like, he's never told me a lie. And we said that we would always tell each other the ugliest truth versus the prettiest lie.
Wow.
And that's what I love about him. And so let me just share about the book. So the book, he was Life is Rich. That's his calling. And I'm going to let you talk about it, but I just want to share this.
Okay.
When I met him, when he stopped me outside of the LA Fitness gym and he handed me the book, I looked at the book and, you know, blah, 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 blah. And I didn't have any really, I wasn't trying to be that book. I got a whole bunch of books that I had never even read yet in my library, right? So he handed me the book, he was on the cover, and then, you know, whatever. And when I was going to my seminar in Dallas, Texas, I was at the dentist's office. I had like 20 minutes, and it was white wall, nothing on TV, no books nowhere. I don't know where I got this dentist from. But anyhow, bottom line is, I started reading through the book. Amazing. So when we got married, 3 years, on our third year anniversary, I get this thing in the mail from Amazon. I'm like, what is this? I said, Nate, did you order something from Amazon? I didn't order anything. And he said, well, open it. I don't know, what is it? And I open it up.
Oh,
you see it?
I remember.
You see it? Yes. And it was his book, and he changed the cover of his book and put me on there. I fell apart because I have a history of being invisible in my prior situation. You know what I mean? And so for him to put me on his body of work that I didn't contribute to, but the fact that I contribute to his life, that is amazing. And so I did contribute to the book, however, because the book, Life, stands for I live in fullness every day. And that was the whole deal. But then I said, but Nate, Rich, realizing I'm Christ's heir.
Yeah.
So that was my collaboration. That was my audition. I need some royalties.
It's a partnership, man. You two here with it are one. Oh, I love that. Well, listen, we're going to do a quick break because I want to make sure that we set up the business and the opportunities that you guys have that our listeners will be able to participate in. So I always ask my guests to give me a couple of inspirational songs that they go to whenever life is just lifing, when it's a bit of a challenge, when you maybe have something that you have coming up and you just really need that inspiration and that boost. So you gave me a couple of songs that I'm going to choose. One that I just love. When I saw it come through, I said, just asking my name.
Yes.
Reverend Milton Brunson.
Oh, girl.
Why is this one of your go-tos?
Girl, it is the scripture. Ask, seek, and knock. Ask, and it shall be given.
Woo.
Seek, and ye shall find.
Come on.
And knock, and the door shall be open to you. And it's like God speaking, even though she's singing to God, it's like God actually giving it back to us through his word. And he's just saying, whatever you need, just ask in my name.
In my name. So enjoy this song, and we'll have a quick commercial break and be right back. It's so funny too, because on my way here, I go to the Apple, they do a little playlist every week. And so Smokey Norfolk redid this song. Gee. I was listening to it literally on my way here. And so when I saw this, I was like, this is the song right now for this season. It's so good. This is good. See, 124. It goes
fast.
quick. Will y'all come back though?
Oh,
come back on the show? Okay.
Absolutely.
So yeah, when we come back on, we'll I'll have you just kind of talk about the business, talk about opportunities that people can connect in the business. We'll talk about balance, that word that may or may not exist. Sounds like it may not exist because everything is so interwoven together with your relationship and business. But maybe for couples out there that are trying to figure out how to merge the two together, although it may not look the same for them, but just a couple of nuggets that you can give to them. And then for the single business woman, the single black woman or single black man who, they're doing business, but they know too, in the desiring of a partner, speaking for myself too, you do have to be pretty strategic like you are, like you guys were, and just some, kind of roadblocks that we can maybe lean into as well.
Good. Okay. I definitely have something over the shoes for the women.
Yeah. But this is.
You're a great interviewer.
Thank you.
Keep it fun. Great questions too.
Thank you. I keep it flowing. Like I said, I print out stuff just in case it becomes a little like, but most of my guests are, they're professional, political, dignitaries, people that talk anyway. Yeah. And I know them. It's just such a blessing. I'm able to kind of pull from the relationship. So, but do y'all have anything coming up? Some events or?
Yeah, we do weekly Zooms.
Okay.
So that's one thing that I'm definitely want to give people an opportunity to plug into.
Okay.
And but that's really it right now.
Okay.
And then seeking opportunities to speak.
Yeah.
Like I said, this season right now, at least on my end, being very intentional.
Yes.
This is my come back out time frame.
Okay. Coming back out time. So you've been in.
Not to what everyone else thinks.
Yeah.
But by my standard.
Gotcha.
Yeah. For the last 19 years, it's been, the plan was always to be the dad that was around.
Yes.
And so now both kids are freshmen in college. Okay. And so 24 was me coming into the year saying, let me get set up for 25. Yeah. And so now I'm kind of retracing those steps that I did when I came to Jacksonville, sight unseen back in 04.
Yeah.
Which was a roll up sleeves, get known, did a lot of things.
Yes.
And pulled back to expand.
I love that. That's important too. I myself am being challenged, as I see my daughter growing so fast. I'm just like, she's 3.5.
Right.
She's gonna be 4. And I'm like, this is the year for me. Last year was a whirlwind of a year. But I said, this year, we pulling back. We slowing it all the way down because, as you obviously see, those years go by so quickly. And I want to make sure that I'm not missing any opportunities or, just the time that I know I need to really be there and rearing her up. So that's good to know, too, because some people, they don't consider that. And don't value or prioritize that time. Knowing business will be there.
Yeah. Well, and I did it the other way. So what you just now said is what people do. They
Right.
ought to use it and say the kids as an excuse.
For sure.
For not
Oh,
doing it.
yeah, true.
So my energy was put prior to
Yeah.
in order to be in that position so that I could. And so, I made a commitment when my daughter was born that I'm so into the lives of women, such if anything happening unexpectedly,
Yeah.
she'd have role models that I wanted to follow. Hence that sparkling of a pink Cadillac and how God was kind of orchestrating things together. That's an example of real world right there. But the things I made decisions on, putting in a position financially, such that when she was born, I was able to run my numbers and see that financially I was in a position to leave a great job and move to Jacksonville sight unseen, and then go into what I was doing, but I wanted to be near the water and be near Savannah, which is home. So that's what when I say being on the sideline, is that I was financially in a position to be able to sustain that life. And in turn, it was about the planning in advance. So there's a season to roll up the sleeves. There are things to be done. And even my family was like, you're always on the phone, you're doing such. I said, but I'm here. I'm at the pool with my kids here.
Yeah.
And you guys think I'm always working. I'm like, is this really working? You're waiting for the weekend.
Right.
And I'm on every event.
Yeah.
I'm at the field trips when they're babies. I'm at the, so it's the perspective.
This song is like saying
You can start. Thank you. I was sitting here while we're talking. I was like, this is one of those, Milton Ross said he goes.
Quit a song.
Commercial. But yeah, I was listening to the song. I was like, oh yeah, that's right. Because the choir comes in and she comes in again.
That's like Hezekiah.
Right, okay. Oh, hi, Chandra. Hey, Natalie. Natalie says she's literally in the parking lot of LA Fitness listening to the show.
Oh my God. Who is it?
Natalie Ellison. Great.
Are you
Natalie,
serious?
yes.
Oh my gosh. Hey, Nat.
And we are back to the In the Know radio show. Hopefully you enjoyed that song by Reverend Milton Brunson, Just Ask in My Name. Listen, you might be thinking about something right now when you're feeling a little bit timid, but I want to encourage you to go boldly before the throne of grace. There's favor there for you. And just like our couple in the studio audience today, the Scotts have talked about, he is able to do exceeding abundantly above all you ask or think. So just ask in his name. Listen, he just might come through. No, he will come through. Okay, that's my message for today. So hopefully you heard the first half of the show, but if not, you're coming in at a good time because Nate and Andrea, they're talking about their business, Life is Rich, which culminates so many incredible things. If you're not friends with them on the social media platform or within their community, they're going to give you some information right now so that way you know how you can elevate your life in a relational way, in a spiritual way, in a business type of way. And it's still early in the year, so there's still enough time to make those shifts within your life so that way you can set up your life for success in this year. So Nate, tell us about how Life is Rich, how it got started and how people can get plugged into it now.
Yeah, well, Life is Rich started as a result of that experience in combat. Life is Rich is about purpose.
And thank you again for your service.
Thank you.
I always like to say that.
And it's the heart of the message of everything that I do. At 19, I walked perimeter during Operation Desert Storm. I said, Lord, if you allow me to get back, I'll no way stay on my life. That was purposeful. And so to that end, I don't have business and personal. My life is just my assignment. My name is Nathaniel, which means God's gift.
Yeah.
So I've committed to giving myself away. Well, money follows value. The value in which I deliver has been built first as a personal trainer. That was my first business.
Okay.
From there, I started teaching people how to apply the habits of physical fitness to their life. I then did my MBA at George Washington University, started teaching people how to apply the habits of physical fitness to business. I then did financial planning at Georgetown University, started teaching people how to apply the habits of physical fitness to personal finance. So the process...
Definitely a hierarchy that you've kind of built.
Yeah, and a process that is built upon. And that's what I try to get everyone to understand about their own situation. And when they hire me, that's what I'm really looking for. Because I have 4 tenets. Number 1, alignment before assignment. Number 2, you are the asset. Number 3, how to think versus what to think. And number 4, life is rich. Life is rich. Live in fullness every day. Because I realize that I am Christ's heir.
Yeah.
It's not me beating your head with the Bible. It's just simply me saying, this is my anchor. And if we do line up in that same beat as being believers, I don't say Christians, being believers, kingdom-minded, things that we go into God's word in that vein, then you got to know that you are an heir. That means that you got to know that your Father has it all.
Right.
And because he has it all, the responsibility that we have is to grow our capacity, because no good parent is going to release the keys to the car if you can't drive.
Right.
And so the assignment is about partnering with people and helping them to grow in their full potential, to be able to make that transformation. And if you believe in the same light, well, then it's easy. Because now all I'm doing is I'm just redirecting you back to God's word and saying, hey, here's what the word says. Do you believe it? Okay, if you believe it, now go to work.
Right.
Put the effort into developing into the person that can assume those things that are already set aside for you.
Right. So really knowing your position.
Yeah.
It sounds like when you have just that resolute mindset of knowing what your position is in God, in the kingdom, then that is something that you just walk and adapt into every day of your life. But it sounds like those who are believers, there's somewhat of an accountability kind of breakdown.
Must be. And it's inherent though. It's not even coming, I'm just there to walk beside you.
Right.
But it's about, number 1, who you are and whose you are. So I said, if you got the right understanding, then it's about your belief.
Right.
And then it's about being able to walk those things out. So the textbook, if you will, is Life is Rich, How to Create Lasting Wealth. It's a principle-centered, biblically based leadership program focused on personal growth and entrepreneurship. Okay. Specifically addressing the cash flow danger that no one is talking about. The fact that 77 million baby boomers are retiring and facing a cash flow danger. That 66 out of 100 people age 65 earn less than $30,000 in retirement. That 47% of people say if they had a $400 emergency, they'd have to sell something or borrow money to address it. And 68% of people are living paycheck to paycheck. Wow. But it's about how to think versus what to think. And I cover leadership is the answer, the cash flow danger, it happened to me, become an entrepreneur, choosing the right entity, raising capital, asset protection, protecting your financial privacy, reducing your taxes, retirement planning, residual income retirement planning, estate planning, and life is rich. Life is rich.
And you've covered all of the bases when it comes to this type of program. In the Black community, let's just talk about it for a minute. Why do you feel, or do you see that there is a challenge for individuals to, number 1, be honest with where they are in their life, and to become more comfortable with planning for the future? Because there's a lot of times, and this is not just our community, but just in terms of, audience listenership and kind of my market. What are some things that we can do to kind of debunk that mindset and make it not a scary thing and a thing that may seem to, put a stifle in the fun, so to speak, but to really encourage them to know that this is not to cause you to limit the way that you're living, but really to expand the way that you're living in a stress-free type of manner, because the inevitable things are going to happen. Emergencies do come up. And so why not have this already built in to your life so that life every day can be one that is a little bit more carefree.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting you say that, and I'll ask the question in that manner. My undergrad is in sociology, so I can go into all type of things in that rate. But the bottom line is that think about how we are as a community developed and raised. We're raised in the church. So if you want to make a shift in our community, we got to make some shifts in the way we do religion. We got to do something different, and here's what we got to do different. Knowledge is information. Right. Understanding is comprehension. But wisdom is applied knowledge. The knowledge is us reading the scripture and getting the word. Right. I always say you get the feel good and the rah-rah on Sunday, but then on Monday your shoulders slump down when you're trying to figure out how to deal with life. I'm saying that's the gap. Yeah. Because you're getting that, but there's nothing being done to make sure that you actually understand the practical side of what is written. That's the ultimate success manual. My life changed in '96 when I got introduced to personal growth and development and entrepreneurship via network marketing, not because I was drawn into an opportunity, but I never knew about picking up books and going to seminars and being around successful people. So you want to shift our community, everything about our community, we've got to elevate the thinking and we've got to change the dialogue. You think about the whole Super Bowl with Kendrick Lamar and all of that. Yeah. Well, talking about people that are educated, being who can receive being educated versus being entertained. Right. That's that. Yes. So the dialogue has to shift, and then in turn, it's a building process of exposure. And then through exposure, it's the willingness to actually commit to what God has already promised. Do you believe in the God that you say you serve? Right. And are you willing to trust his word over your circumstances and situations? And then are you willing to walk it out by faith? Yeah. Demonstrate your faith, God demonstrates his faithfulness.
And Andrea, you did that so masterfully as a Mary Kay beauty consultant for all those many years, just being such a role model and a trailblazer in a company that was established for women, and as an African-American woman to be one of few national sales directors, and just to be a light in our community with those who were consultants under you. You even were able to implement the same type of strategy and plan into the lives of women who may have just been, they may be the head of household, they may be single mothers, they may be the major breadwinners that are trying to, add income into the home. What are some things that you were able to do and are doing now with Life is Rich for that type of?
So women have always been my ministry. I've always been involved in everything that pertains to women. And when I say ministry, I'm saying I believe in women so much. I believe in the power of women. Women give birth to the men that run the world. Yeah. Okay? And we nurture. We do all of these things. We cook, we clean, we pack lunches, we iron, we fold clothes. We do all of that all at once while talking on the phone. Right. Okay? We can do it all. I think for me, and for a lot of people, particularly women in business, it's all about vision and desire. You have to have a desire to be further than you are and to be more than you are. Because one of the things that is like in the beginning, when in Genesis, God, the word says that, for us to be fruitful and to multiply. Yeah. And I don't, everybody's not a quote unquote business owner, but everybody's got business in them. Right. Okay? Because we're either a consumer or we're a marketer, right? We're either selling or we're buying. So we all understand business, right? And what that has to do, either in front of the transaction or behind the transaction. I made a decision when I was 20 years old. I needed 3 types of things in my life, 3 types of freedom. I will live and die for freedom, okay? I needed financial freedom, which is being able to create the income that I want to create as much as I want with no cap. I wanted time freedom. I wanted the time to be able to do the things I wanted to do and to go to places I wanted to go and stay there as long as I wanted to stay. And then I needed location freedom. I wanted to be able, if I wanted to work at the beach, work at my mama's house, work in a cafe in Paris, work in, in my car, and I could do that. And so I knew that every job I had was only about, or whatever I did, it didn't give me those 3. So I knew entrepreneurship was a thing. When I saw what Mary Kay had, at the time, I was 27 years old. And I understood that women, this was a place where women could showcase their independence, but not void of accountability and not void of community. It was a community where I could empower women. When God gave me a vision, to become the first Black national sales director in the company, to become the youngest, to move somebody else up based on what I was doing. And I had an opportunity to bring women in who had a desire, but they just needed accountability. They needed somebody that they could look at and say, if she can do it and she looks like me, so can I. And that was really my mission. It was a movement. It was Harriet Tubman.
Yeah.
Thank God. I was stand up, take my people with me.
Come on.
Right together we are going to a brand new home. I mean, that was really, I've always been tenacious like that. Even as a kid, I was like the Pied Piper with the little kids in the neighborhood. But God has always He's always gifted me in that way because I love so hard. And I always want to see women elevate because I could see the potential in them.
I love that. Both of you, very, very clear, very, very in touch with what the call is. Something that isn't manufactured, it's not drummed up, it's who you are. And I think that's so important, which really shows that you spend a lot of quiet time with yourself and with the Lord, so that way you have that clarity. Because I do think some people get into business because they're looking to the left and to the right. They're looking to see what's the popular thing, or they're looking for they look at some semblance of something that they do, and oh, maybe I can do that too, but a little bit better. And then they're quickly burnt out, or not finding ways to expand upon that, because it truly isn't probably what they should be doing anyway. How does that clarity kind of come about?
I'm going to say this real quick, because as soon as that came out your mouth, I knew I had to jump on it. I'm going to pass it to Nate. I think one of the mistakes is that people join companies versus join people. Because when you work with Nate and I, you can trust that we're going to help you to get where you need to go. And it's without, for me, and particularly for Nate, because everything he does is just so what do you call it? It is not sacrificing for himself. It's for just his service to the company. It's his service to the company. I mean, to the country. I'm sorry, not the company. His service to the country, and to God, definitely to God. So I think that when people join people, and that's when you start a movement, is that it's not like, okay, this is a great company or this is a great thing. No, those are great people.
Yeah.
And they're going somewhere. Wherever they're going, I can trust that they're going to get there. And if I hitch my wagon to your star, that I'm going to be there.
I love that. Connect to the people, not to the company. And then you can definitely make some traction. How can the people connect to you?
Well, first I want to go ahead and get it out there that we got a free gift for everyone that takes action, just because of the honor which you provided to us.
Okay. PSA. You are listening to the In the Know radio show, and because you're listening to the In the Know radio show, you have an incredible opportunity to get something.
That's right.
So because they're listening to this show, you guys are going to provide an offer for them.
Right.
Okay.
Right. And that's a lesson for everyone that I really want to put forth, is that through connections you get opportunities.
Yes.
The fact is that I took the action on God's prompting to stop Andrea. I gave her my seed. I had to do that, number one, because of knowing who I am and whose I am, and I knew that I had something of value, which in turn allowed me then to offer it up.
Yeah.
She received it, and she responded in accordance to the person that I thought she would be. She got the book and she read it, and then in turn she shared it. Those people's lives were impacted because she had the resource. And then in turn, all the other lives that have been impacted has been as a result of their connectivity to her.
Yeah.
She's connected to you.
Yes.
You invited us in.
Yeah.
Therefore, your audience will be the benefactors of you.
Yeah.
See, that's what networking looks like. That's how things that are spread. That's why love is an action word. So you love someone when you demonstrate, when you offer up something that you have gained access to. That's one thing. If nothing else, I want everybody to walk away, because I want us to start moving in that vein.
Yeah.
For a free copy, free download of the audio of chapter of Life as We're Trying to Create Lasting Wealth, people can simply text VICTORY to 904-544-7424. Again, text VICTORY to 904-544-7424. This is important because not only will you get that audio, but then we'll also be able to communicate about upcoming events.
Okay.
And we'll also then be able to engage if someone wants to send us a direct question. We want the longevity of the relationship. What Andrea was tripped out about was when the people in the audience asked her about where they could get the book. She didn't know, and someone in her audience went through the book and went to the back and saw my information was there. And then consequently, that's what caused her to be able to reach back out to me.
I love that.
You know, so that right there is there. But of course, we're on all social media platforms. We're on Instagram, we're on Facebook, we're on YouTube, as well as LinkedIn, and that will be sent back when people text VICTORY to that number. And one thing I just want to make sure that everyone knows is that we're here to serve.
Yeah.
The mission is really, really significant. I'm working to create the equivalent of a $10 million endowment fund to foster personal growth and development and entrepreneurship. And the reason that is that everyone that's a W-2 employee that doesn't have a business is paying at least 40% more in taxes. The question I ask people is, how do you want to look, feel, and live the last 10 years of your life?
That's good.
Asking that question is meant to cause you to start to do some calculations.
Yeah.
Because the life expectancy of women is 81, for men is 76. Let's go ahead and take off 10 years. So we're talking about 71, we're talking about 66 from a planning standpoint. So now look at how old you are today. And if you're a woman, how long do you have to get to 71? For a man, how long do you have to get to 66? With that number, now you know what you're working with.
Right.
Now, how much money per month do you need in order to fund the way you want to look?
So a very clear picture.
That's right.
A very clear timeline of intentional actions that need to be made in order for that end result.
That's
to
right.
come to
Begin
pass.
with the end in mind. And if
That's
we do
good.
that, now you can go have the conversation with your financial professional and make sure that they're actually having that real conversation so that you can give yourself a shot at not being in the 66 out of 100 people age 65 that earn less than $30,000 retirement.
And at a time right now, well, everything is going up, where everything is shifting, employment, grants, federal funding, all of those things are shifting. This is definitely the best time to be able to get plugged into this type of resource. So that way, again, the fear can be decreased, eliminated is the ultimate goal, and that we are able to maintain and take some control of what the future may look like. So again, Nate and Andrea are offering a giveaway. Those who are listening right now. So you just text VICTORY to 904-544-7424. I'm going to make sure that I include the information on my social media platform as well, so that way guests can be recipients of this incredible resource. And so we're going to listen to one more song, a part of one more song, because the time is going so quickly, but I want to make sure that we listen to one of Nate's songs. And Nate, I'm going to let you choose. I love both of them. Goodness of God and Thank You, Lord, for all you've done for me. Okay.
Goodness of God.
Is that your choice?
It is, because I didn't know about that.
See how the wife came through? See how the missus comes through?
I came through.
She comes through.
I'm like, what's up? I would have given you a song.
Listen. We'll talk about that later. Play the song.
So let's go ahead and hear Goodness of God, just a little bit, by CeCe Winans, and we'll be right back with our closing remarks.
Listen,
David, the wife said I had to do it.
I was not asking you for another thing.
What is one of your favorite songs?
Destiny.
What's one of your favorite songs?
Destiny.
Destiny? By who?
I don't know who sings it.
See?
Is it a worship song?
Yeah. But I can easily send it to you. But what do you mean
How does it go?
I can't remember off the top.
Destiny. Okay. Well, for next time.
Yeah.
You'll know next time.
Yeah, next time
You'll
he'll
have
give
one of
us
your
songs.
songs. Yeah.
I gave all my songs.
Wow, this is
Yeah, and see,
so.
I'm a song, and I'm very intentional with music. So
Yeah.
again, there's
Oh, I believe it.
things that-
I believe you're very intentional with everything.
You see why I hired him?
Absolutely.
You see why I hired him?
And that's why I was asking, like, in terms of just that insight on, who she is. But again, you brought the clarity in that there is no separation. It's all encompassing. which I mean, just looking from the outside in, it would seem that would be, well, I guess it's not, because it's who you are. You have to be that person, and both of you are those people that kind of encompass that, which makes you such a dynamic duo. Because
it's a standard. So what happens is, it does what you just now modeled. That is for the masses. Yeah. But there are levels. Yeah. And like I said, people don't like to talk about that, but successful people don't stumble into it. Right. So it's not like we're just like everybody. Yeah, we're not like everybody's not thing. So there are levels, and so when you see people that have had any degree of success, you oftentimes will see some type of parallels. Yeah. You know, and so we don't shrink. Right. Many times I've been in a relationship where that has happened, and I told Andrea about that, is that I don't have to be shrink. I didn't have to lessen myself in our relationship. Yeah.
I do want to share something with the single women.
That's what I'm doing. Yep. Because we got a few minutes left, so I'm gonna
take you
right into that.
It's not even just single.
Well, yeah, for everybody actually. Yeah. But particularly for single women, because going into it, you know, some folk already in it now.
And that was Goodness of God by CeCe Winans. And we are already coming to the end of our show. It has been so good. Hopefully those of you who have been listening in, you've been taking notes and you wrote that information down in order to get that free download. Again, that is text VICTORY to 904-544-7424. And so Andrea is going to give us some nuggets. Us meaning those of us who are unwed, but we're business women with vision. And granted, some of the elements that you guys have shared is for everyone, but there are different positions and classes. And so it does bring comfort to be seen, as you said before. Sometimes singles don't feel seen whenever different types of dialogues are happening or different types of information is given, so to say. But for you, it just kind of carries a little bit of weight. So give us some nuggets there.
So real quick, one of the things that I would say is know where you are going. Know where you are going, particularly as a woman. Yeah. Because I've seen a lot when I was in my professional business with Mary Kay before I retired. I mentored a lot of women who came into that community and found themselves. They wanted now to be introduced to the better version of themselves. So they're getting mentorship now. They've got goals. They want to, I got all these things they want to do, and then for those who are married, they go home, and while now they're evolving, they married somebody who was where they only saw themselves. And so when I knew, I said, God, that's why I made that list. It's like, I know who I am and where I'm going, and somebody got to meet me there or beat me there. Because
this is where I am.
Exactly, meet me there, beat me there. So know not who you are. People make decisions based on, particularly women, oh, that's not me, that's not my personality. Well, then that's what, don't get him. Right. Because if the day you wake up and God taps you on the shoulder and says, now grow, now produce. You don't want to be, you're going to end up going like this. Yeah. Okay?
And that's what people say. We grew apart.
We grew apart, right?
It's a real thing. She changed. He changed.
No, they became. They're becoming. They became. And so the other thing is, so Nate and I, this was so amazing. And had I known this, oh my God. But everything is as it should be. So one day when we decided we were going to get married, I kind of had a meltdown because, again, I was, coming out of a divorce, I was like, okay, I know what I don't want. So I said, how do you know that I'm the one? How do you know that you could love me forever? I don't want to go. And I was going through one of those things. He said to me, go grab your Bible. Bible right there. He said, turn to 1 Corinthians 13. Of course, I already know what that is.
That's the love chapter.
He said, exactly. He said, I want you to vet me. What you have experienced of me based on God's love. And he said, I want you to read. I said, love is patient. He said, stop. He said, have you experienced me to be patient? I said, yes. He said, go ahead. Love is kind. And he said, stop. Have you experienced me to handle you with kindness? Love is not self-seeking. Love is not rude. It's not this. It's not all that stuff. And I went down the whole thing, and when I could check it off, that's when I knew that he could love me like God.
Wow.
But see, the thing is, we got to first vet ourselves.
Yes.
Am I boastful?
Right.
Am I full of pride? Am I this? Do I keep record of wrong?
Yes.
All of that. And so when you're able to pass that test and your partner, and I'm not saying that we're going to be all of it.
Right,
You understand?
right.
But it's a good way to start.
It's foundation.
It's foundational. Because, and this is my last thing, I believe that, and we talked about it earlier, that in the marriage relationship, every marriage should experience the 4 types of love.
Yeah.
Agape, storge, phileo, and eros.
Yeah.
We ought to dap up like best friends, like you got my bag, you ain't, you know?
Yes.
We ought to be able to have that family love where we could cuddle up and, eat popcorn and watch a chick flick, Netflix or whatever it is. We ought to have the erotic love as husband and wife, and then that agape, which is the core of marital bliss, honestly. And so I think that the marital space is very, very unique in that we get to experience all of those things in alignment with what God has called the marriage to be.
Yeah.
You understand? I know other folks can do whatever they want to do, but in the marriage, that's when it works. And so we do that. We're like brother and sister. We fight like that. We're like, but when we got married, we set a tradition. We kiss 3 times. One for the Father, one for the Son, one for the Holy Ghost.
Yes.
Every night before we go to bed.
Oh,
we
I
kiss.
love that.
If we are traveling, one of us is traveling, we send 3 kiss emojis before we go to bed. So we do not go to bed angry. And even when we go to bed angry, girl, some days my lips be all stiff.
Look at Nate. Nate be like, you gonna give me these kisses though. All 3 of them. They can be stiff as they want to be.
I was going to say with the whole thing about signals, because when Andrew I said, hey, make sure that you find somebody that you can talk to as a male to give you some male perspective and not be talking to women about men. Find out that real direction as well. So
thank you so much. Thank you guys so much for being on the show. And thank you for listening to the In the Know Radio
This is the place to be. Turn your radio station to victory. But the Spirit of the Lord is liberty. Tune in to the station that set you free. We going up right now. Please tune in. Don't touch that dial. We so blessed and you want to know how. Not talking. We just living out loud.